Alright, this is my, other historic, this is actually a standard list. This is the life gain in standard. Let's go over it. Ichor Drinker is a 1 mana. It's the only 1 mana life linker that I found. And he can incubate 2 from the graveyard. Eater of Virtues, Gwen, while we're playing around, it says when a equipped creature perishes, exile it. Equipped creature gets to attack, and then it gains keywords. As long as it's exile with creatures underneath it. So it has to be printed on the card like Ichor Drinker. See how it has lifelink printed on it? Eater of Virtue would gain lifelink if it exiled it with its effect, because the creature needs to perish while it's equipped with Eater of Virtue, and then the Eater of Virtue inherits its keywords as long as it's got stuff exiled with it. And you can exile Ichor Drinker from your graveyard, incubate 2. Activate only as a sorcery, you get a 2/2 in the form of an artifact that you gotta pay 2 mana to hatch it, basically. And when you hatch it, it gains, it's affected by a summoning sickness. So, like, if you summon it that turn and then you hatch it the same turn that you summon it, it can't attack. But if you incubated it and waited like a turn or 2 or 3 or whatever, however many turns, it'll have haste, like it'll be able to act. So it's affected by summoning sickness. Valorous Stance, choose 1. Target creature gains indestructible end turn, or destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. I put this in because it's the only removal effect that also gives indestructible. This is one of our key cards, Voice of the Blast. Whenever you gain life, you put 1/1 counter on him. When he has 4 or more counters on him, he has Flying and Vigilance. When he has 10 or more counters on him, he has indestructible. This is what I was talking about with the last video. Deep Cavern Bat has Flying and Lifelink. Enters the battlefield, look at the target opponent's hand. May exile a non-land card from it until Deep Cavern Bat leaves the battlefield. So this is a lot like Kitesail Freebooter. Kitesail Freebooter. It's an old Ixalan card. It's a pirate. This card's actually really good. Moment of Valor. Until untap target creature, it gains 1 attack. Until end of turn, it gains indestructible until end of turn. Pop target creature with power 4 or greater. Again, gives indestructible and it is removal. So it's both, because this is our second linchpin card. It's Resplendent Angel. Flying at the beginning and end step. If you gain 5 or more lives this turn, you create a Sarah's Angel token, and then you can pay 6 mana, and it can satisfy all of its conditions, or all of its wants by itself, by making it a 5/5 with lifelink. This card is good. Resplendent Angel is good if you can get the angel out relatively quick. But if you can't get it out quick, it's not super exciting by any means, because otherwise it's just a flying 5 mana 3 mana 3/3 flyer, which nowadays really isn't super exciting. Back when it was good, just that alone was good, but nowadays that's pretty average, honestly. It really is. It's just average. Werefox Bodyguard has Flash, and when it enters the battlefield, it can capture a creature, exile up to 1 target creature, non-target fox creature, non-fox, until Werefox Bodyguard leaves the battlefield, so you can't chain it with itself, otherwise you'll be able to chain it with itself. Sacrifice Werefox Bodyguard, you gain 2 life. So that's what I'm talking about. When it captures a creature, it exiles it until it leaves. So, and this card's pretty cool. It's a rare and standard right now. I got it as a 2/0, so I decided to play it. Curse of Leeches, enchant player. As this permanent transforms into Curse of Leeches, attach it to target player. Beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose 1 life, and you gain 1 life, daybound, and then it turns into a 4/4 with lifelink. Gumdrop Poisoner, I got this as an at 4 of in the last set. You can make you can make a food token with her lifelink, and then when she enters the battlefield, she can minus a creature by XX, where X is the amount of life you gained in that turn. So if you gain like 6 life, she can minus something by 6/6, which is really good. Like, she's like a body in removal, and herself, she has lifelink, because basically this deck, we're trying to give Resplendent Angel lifelink with Eater of Virtue, and satisfy getting its angels out as soon as possible. Shoulder of the Apocalypse has Death Touch, and then whenever you draw a card, you gain 2 life. Whenever opponents draw a card, they lose 2 life. She's a 4/5 for 4. Good card. Boombringer Valkyrie has backup 1, flying first strike lifelink. Backup means you give a target creature a 1/1 counter, and you give it all the keywords that is on the card. Otherwise, this Boombringer Valkyrie won't even be that great. Seal Seraph, you can prototype her as a 3/3. Otherwise, she just has flying, and you can target a creature, and you can give it flying, vigilance, or lifelink until end of turn. Otherwise, Steel Strap wouldn't be that good either. It's only good because you can prototype it. Other than that, like a 6 mana 5/4 with flying, and then like one additional keyword. One of which it can't even use because it already has flying. Really isn't that good. Phyrexian Fleshgorger, this is a mythic, otherwise I'd probably put more of this in. You can prototype it for 3, otherwise it's a menace lifelink, and its ward is pay life equal to Phyrexian Fleshgorger's power. This card's actually pretty tight. Honestly, it really is. I think this card's pretty tight. Menace lifelink is pretty good. And it's flexible too. And it's got ward, so it's got like some form of targeting protection. And then it's mana base.
Alright, this first match is up against Rocker FCC. We're going to play a tapped land. It's the life gain lands. You see them in like every set. Pretty much the common double color lands you play when you gain 1 life. Go ahead and play Voice of the Blast here. Because we want to get Voice of the Blast out on turn 2. It's pretty much a must. They play a dinosaur card. They get the Paleontologist as a mana dream for basically dinosaurs. You can add 1 mana of any color, and then they can cast dinosaurs from the graveyard and give them finality counters. We go ahead and capture her. Because mana dweeb, so you got Bolt the Bird. That's what it's cool. That's basically using removal on a mana dweeb. That's what Bolt the Bird means. Because it would be like people would play Birds of Paradise and you would play Lightning Bolt against it. So, Commune with Spirits. They play that. It looks for lands. They grab Cavern of Souls that can cause cards to not be countered. It's a mythic land, but you need to play like it's only tribal, so you gotta play like a certain creature type. Like I said, I'm not too good at Standard. I haven't played Standard in like ever since like this video, literally. I haven't played Standard in probably like almost 2.5 years. All I play is Brawl nowadays. I like Brawl because like there's some cards I just don't feel like playing of against 4 of. Like, look, they got a Tally in their hand because they're playing dinosaurs, which is literally the most overbrush creature type ever. Honestly, it really is. Like, a lot of dinosaurs are really, really good. Like, there's not very many weak dinosaurs that are actually, like, objectively, like, weak cards that aren't good at all. There's lackluster dinosaurs, but definitely not weak ones. Because some of the new dinosaurs are just pushed to the moon. They're so fucking good. Like the new Atali. A lot of other ones too. I'd have to take some time to get good at Standard again. Because being good at like constructed 60 card formats and being good at Brawl is like 2 very different things. So, I'll quit here. So, good game. Well played.
Alright, this is up against Odichan. They go ahead and play Ortola Land. We go ahead and play Restless Fortress here. Turns into a 1/4, and then when it swings, it drains for 2. It's alright, it's pretty good. Definitely, like I said, out of the Eldraine set, my favorite one is Restless Cottage. For Ixalan, it's probably, I don't know, probably the Jameer one. Because it's like a shark. It becomes a 4/4 shark. I think it exiles cards in the graveyard too or something. Does something like that. I can't quite remember what it does. But I know it's a 4/4 shark. Because the 2/3 is like it's like the Radical's land is like a 2/3 insect thing. But anyways, they go ahead and we dodged the Make Disappear because we played the guy. We didn't want to play anything to Make Disappear. Make Disappear counter spells as long as you can't pay the 2. Go ahead and take 2 from Shieldred here. Shieldred's a big deal in this format right now. She's objectively like one of the best cards in Standard currently. So that card is just very well pushed. It's just a good card. She's a 4/5 for 4, which, I mean, she's big. Death Touch is relevant sometimes. And she gains you life, she drains your opponent. She works well with Beseech the Mirror, which came out in Eldraine. I actually pulled that as a nat 3 of. So I got that for standard. I'll probably just keep playing historic though. I kind of like the historic better than standard. Because then I get to play like more cards. So I'm just not like good at standard anymore. I used to play standard quite a bit, but I quit in Theros block in this game. When they played when Theros came out. That's when I quit standard. Go ahead and attempt to play Voice of the Blast here, because they're going to counterspell it, that's fine. So, goes off without a hitch, which is excellent. Scoured Barrens comes down, it's the Oracle of the Life gain land. They always come in to play tapped, and then you play and they give you 1 life. We'll go ahead and play, or equipping Eater of Virtue to Lurking Horror, which is the 4/4. It's Curse of Legion. I got that as a nat 4 from the Theros set. It is a rare. It's a decent card. It's alright. Send them. Gonna gain 7 if they connect. They're waiting to instant speed removal. Sweaty Tryhard Magic. I mean, to be fair, I really am not as good as I should be at Magic, to be fair. Honestly, I really kind of play really quite lazily nowadays. I really do. Then they go for the throw or guy, which pops target non-artifact creature. Like, I really do. I'm really, like, not nearly as good as I should be nowadays at Magic, because I just play, like, butt, honestly. I really don't play as well. I don't really wait for instant speed. Unless I'm, like, up against certain colors, and I don't care. But it's just I've ran into so many 1-mana protection spells, because they're all over the place nowadays, especially, like, in green. Green and white's got just tons of them nowadays. It's 1 mana, target creature, X, you know, like, it's like protection. It's like Hexproof and Indestructible. There's like Snakeskin Veil, Tameo Safekeeping, Tyvar's Final Stand, I think is another one too. That's the X spell one. Because like Indestructible and it like pumps it. We're not gonna bother paying the cost here. Because we can't pay it, because Make Disappear. It causes things to counters a target spell unless it's a controller pays 2. But you can casualty it, which means you sacrifice a creature with it, and then it becomes convoluted, where they're gonna pay 4 instead. Rafine does her thing. She's pretty good. She can steamroll quite quickly, make something huge. Because the whole connive mechanic. Play Lars Getter, the Rat King. Oh, hail the Rat King. We're fed up with this children, so we go ahead and end her life by using Valorous Stance. Showing target creature with toughness 4 greater. Excuse me, popping. We go ahead and send her 3-1. They have to block with Ravine, which makes sense. It's a 1/4, so she actually eats the card, but we don't care. Because we're mainly doing it to just gain the life, so we're a little bit safer. We're in the ideal position. Because in standard, this is like the only stuff I have like 4-0s for. Now, you don't always need to play 4-0s, but I don't know. You always kind of want your decks to at least some sort of consistency, and that's what 4-0s afford you, is consistency. Because we're in the position to where if the Responding Angel can stick around, she can win us the game by giving us angels constantly. Because I used to play Responding Angel back in the day in old school standard, back when she could buddy up with Shalai Voices Lenny and Lyra Dawnrunner. Which honestly, I'll show you some of my old historic decks. I'll try and remake it. And the image of the deck that it was. That was the deck. That was the deck against... I think about it and I'm like, yeah, I can block here. Because I think they might have a pump spell, or like a removal. Like, I may be a little bit too paranoid over removal nowadays, possibly. I go ahead and draw a card with Kato. Kato draws a card, and then you discard only if you didn't attack. And they just wait here because we got an angel, so good game. Well played.
Alright, we go first. This is up against Shark Savior. He is a battle shark. He's riding it majestically through the desert, saving orphans and punching camel spiders, because they're scary. Alright, we got a pretty decent hand, all things considered. All we want is a lifelinker. Like I said, that's why we're playing the Ichor Drinker guy, because he's literally the only 1-mana lifelinker in Standard right now. Is Ichor Drinker. That's why we're playing him. All things considered, though, I don't think that Ichor Drinker is actually that bad, honestly. Him being a 1-mana lifelinker is alright, and then he switches into a 2/2 from the graveyard, so if you like get board wiped or something, he can eventually just give you another body. So I don't think he's bad. We go ahead and tempt with treats here. I didn't want to waste the one-sided Gumdrop Poisoner. They got the Atali's Lore Keeper, Ixalan's Lore Keeper, add 1 mana of any color. Send this only to cast dinosaur spells or activate the ability of dinosaurs. Yeah, because dinosaurs get everything. They honestly are. They're probably like the strongest creature type by far, total in Magic, is dinosaurs. Because they got a lot of strong stuff nowadays. They got a heck of a lot of strong stuff. We're waiting on our opponent. It's taken 15 years to click a button. Send our Ichor Drinker. It gets blocked, which is actually favorable for us because we want Ichor Drinker to get blocked anyways. Because we want our Eater of Virtue to get lifelink. Yeah, see, they got Tameo Safekeeping. That's what I'm talking about right here. We could have gave our guy, like, Indestructible or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Because, again, that's what we want. We want our Ichor Drinker to have we want our Eater of Virtue to have lifelink. We preferably want our Ichor Drinkers to die with Eater of Virtue in hand. That's what we want. Remember, Eater of Virtue is a legendary. We can't play Resplendent Angel yet because we don't have 2 white sources. So we have to hold back because I want to try and play our Gumdrop Poisoner as a removal. I think this one we lose to Atali. So, and we have to just say forget it. We're just gonna play Gumdrop Poisoner as is. So we don't want to take another hit. Submit 0 because we didn't gain any life. But yeah, so we play our Gumdrop Poisoner, waiting on our opponent. Okay, then they play Atali. Yeah, I think this is where we lose. So we would have been fine if we had 2 white sources. Yeah, they play Huatli here, which she can like buff dinosaurs. I know she can tap for dinosaurs. Valorous Stance does really nothing for them. Actually, they don't get a super great Atali. Fortunately enough. So I kind of tried to play a lot of like those cards like Valor Stance. Kind of put in double duty. Anyways, we get rid of their Atali, and I think they have another one if I remember correctly. Pretty sure they have another one. Go ahead and equip Eater of Virtue. Thing is with Gumdrop Poisoner too, she already has lifelink and she has 3 attack. With Eater of Virtue she has 5 because our whole deck is revolved around getting to that magic number 5 with Resplendent Angel out and her giving us an angel because she's actually reprinted in the new Ixalan set. She's a mythic again. But she's a reprint. They play that Tyrannorex. I play him quite a bit in Brawl. I think he's pretty cool. It's an 8/8 with Toxic. Keep not quite getting there because we simply just don't have any white sources. If we had one extra white source, we would have been fine, but we didn't. Remember that Tyrannorex has Toxic, so then they play Atali here. We just say screw it, good game. We really got stuck on not having white sources. I'm not crafting double colored lands for standard.
All right, this next one is against Icus. We have enough white sources this time, luckily enough. Now we don't have any black sources, which stinks. They go ahead and play a black source. They play Ginger Brute. It has haste, and it can make itself not blockable except by creatures with haste. I think we lose this one, too. It's a food token as well. It acts as a food token because it's a food golem. So its super type is food. Go for the Throat. That's probably one of the more common removals of standard right now. Yeah, I mean, it's good. It's a good card. Go for the Throat is good. 2 mana pretty much remove 90% of creatures that you're probably going to run into. Because it removes target non-artifact creature. But you don't see too many of them. That's actually the plus of Steel's Wrath as of right now. Honestly, in Standard, is the fact that it is an artifact creature, but I don't think it's worth a rare wild card. If you ended up with them, cool, but I wouldn't go out of your way to craft it because it's not that good of a card. By any means. I just ended up with like 2 of them, so I opted to play them. Again, like, that's why I play Historic a lot. You'll probably won't see me play Standard too much, because I'd have to recraft mana bases. Because mana bases matter, like, a lot. Like, mana bases make your deck, like, literally probably, like, 10 times better. If you have a good mana base, your deck will automatically get better. No doubt about it. We got fortunate here. We find our Steel Seraph. We're feeling good about that, feeling fine. We have to prototype it. Because like I said, I don't think this card is good. Honestly, I really don't think Steel Seraph is good. It grants only 1 keyword. There's like an old angel that's a 6-drop, like Steel Seraph, except it's a 4/4, and it gives your whole team a keyword. Like it gives it's like either flying, lifelink, or first strike. I kind of wish that Steel Seraph would do the entire team. It'd probably be too good, though, if it did that because of the prototype. And they're going to make their food golem and unblockable. So, again, Steel Seraph is here mostly just to give lifelink. Like I said, the whole deck is revolved around Resplendent Angel. That's all we care about in this deck is Resplendent Angel. Trying to hit that magic number 5. So, swing, hit him, lifelink, gain 3 life. Yeah, she's an artifact creature, angel. Like I said, that's mainly why I just stick to Historic nowadays. It's because I understand the format a little bit better, and it's mainly because of the mana base issue. Because all our common lands, they all come into play tapped, and that's bad. Like a lot of times in Magic, you want to be playing stuff on curve. So if you have like a 3-drop in your hand, it's usually balanced around coming out on turn 3. Very rarely will you see unless it's like a really pushed 3-drop or a 4-drop or any sort of drop and any sort of 1 or 2 mana slot, whatever its mana value is, it's always balanced around coming out on the turn that it's supposed to come out. There's very rarely drops that are well, you could play this 3-drop on turn 5 and it'd be all right. That doesn't exist really. Go ahead and give Vigilance here instead, so we get a little bit of free damage across. We're not doing so hot because our removal is those indestructible things and stuff. They're very situational. So we're sitting here. They're going. They play a Voldarian Seeker or Bloodcaster. Anyway, she can make bats out of food or blood tokens. So you can take our blood tokens and turn them into bats. They go ahead and swing in here and make their food golem basically indestructible. Ginger Brute. We opted to go with Vigilance last time because we're going to block here and then play one of our indestructibility spells. Now here we opt to play Moment of Valor or whatever because it costs 3 mana instead. That's why we do that. It does give 1 attack, but that doesn't matter in this situation. They go ahead and sacrifice their dude. Yeah. Because there's like how many of those effects now too for black. Where it's like sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards, and then gain some sort of token. Good game. We go ahead and quit there. We just couldn't quite get there. All right, this list of it is up against like Grimdoff. I probably won't do this water effect anymore. I need to read a bunch of cards to you guys that I can't just tell by the art. Anyways, we go ahead and lead off with the double colored land. We got fortunate enough. As you saw in the last 2 games, we lost strictly because of our mana base. Like, we probably could have got stuff done, but because of our mana base being sucky, we didn't quite get there. So, now we play a Plains. We play the Bats. Again, this is like Kitesail Freebooter, if you know that card. Brain Maggot's another one that it's like. Go ahead and look. And we're thinking about it. We take the cut down because we're kind of going to force them to use the removal in their hand. That's what makes these bats good. And Kitesail Freebooter was the same way. Because it was really good at forcing out removal. Because once they defeat the bat, or the Kitesail Freebooter, or the Brain Maggot, because they're all kind of the same card, except they're just like got little different stat parameters, whatever. This bat's really good. I think this bat's one of the better ones because it has flying and lifelink. So, because Kitesail Freebooter is a 1/2 with flying, so it is a better blocker. Brain Maggot's actually just kind of bad. It's a 1/1. It's a reprint from Theros, the original Theros. We have it in this game though, because the Theros set that we got in this game. See, that's what makes those good. Like I said, it's because it forced out all that removal. That's why those guys are good. They play Blossoming Tortoise here. That can like grab lands, and it does something with lands. It's like a lands creature payoff. It's getting pretty crazy with the ripple effect, but it's cool. Go ahead and play Resplendent Angel. Let's see here. They're thinking about playing some cards. They go ahead and play Craterhoof Nissa. I call her Craterhoof Nissa because her ultimate is literally like Craterhoof Behemoth. Her +1, she makes a Phyrexian horror that's as big as her loyalty. So its attack and defense is equivocal to her loyalty. Go ahead and get a land here. Feeling fine about that. That actually is really good. Go ahead and play Eater of Virtue here. Go ahead and equip Eater of Virtue. Go ahead and make 2 food tokens. We equip the Eater of Virtue so we can take out the Nissa, and then we quit the game because we're like kind of far behind.
Alright, we're up against Decius, I think was the name. This is the raindrop effect. This is pretty cool besides the fact that you can't see too much on the sides. So it doesn't work too well with Arena. Fortunately, this might work a little bit better with Halo Wars, but well, I'm going to still do it. I like these effects. It's like looking through a window while it's raining. They go ahead and play Rodham. We're up against Mono Red. That guy is like Rodham Rudo Excavator. He can like draw you cards basically and has haste. That's what he does. Go ahead and play our bat here. Grab one of the Phoenixes. Phoenix Chick has haste. You actually see that a little bit in Historic. They play Kakuzan. Becomes a 2-2. And it causes our cards to be exiled when they perish instead of actually just dying. Changes their effect to being exiled. We go ahead and attempt with treats. Swing with our bat. Say go. Because we're floating our Gumdrop Poisoner. Nahiri's Warcrafting gets rid of our bat. Sacrifice food, gain 3. Or think about it at least, and then we don't. Because we want to kind of keep it to make our Gumdrop Poisoner's removal a little bit better. So I do like Gumdrop Poisoner. Again, I want to try her in Historic, so I'll definitely be making an Historic list. So I probably won't play Standard too much. I think Standard, the main expense with Standard is honestly getting mana bases. Like you saw in the last, 2 of our games, we literally lost because of our mana base. Because if we had just good double-colored lands, we would have actually been able to play stuff on curve and actually win. Because that's such a big deal nowadays. It's always been a big deal in Magic, but nowadays, you don't get, a turn to just not play stuff. We go ahead and, don't play anything, actually, for some reason. I think at this point, I remember this stream now. At this point, I think I was just, kind of tired of playing Standard. So I don't really like Standard that much. I don't really play that much Constructed anymore. I play Brawl more so than anything. We go ahead and play Ganjo Sea of the Empire. It does 4 damage to target attacking or blocking creature. There's plenty of white effects that do that type of stuff. Yeah, because he can exile so many cards depending on how many counters or how many times he attacked. Because he does the pocket draw red thing, the exile effect thing. We go ahead and sacrifice our food. We're going to try and make a big turn here. By being able to we removed our Phoenix. Because we gained 3 life, so she -3/-3'd him. They play Kazano again. It's like Kugazan versus Kasano. And here's Warcrafting, they got us. With that, we're down to 1 after this turn, so we gotta turn it around, otherwise we're not gonna win. Gumdrop Poison unfortunately gets exiled. So we go ahead and eat the food. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Eat it. Then we get rid of the Phoenix. Phoenix can bring itself back. If I play the Ichor Drinker, it has lifelink. I think that second ability, it causes creatures to be played with an additional 1/1 counter on it. Because the first part it does 1 damage. Because that card got banned in Legacy or Vintage or something. That red card that Kazano faces Kuzuko or whatever. I'm pretty sure that card is banned. And it's banned in Legacy or something. They opt not to swing, which really does actually help us out here. We go ahead and incubate, or exile our guy for the incubation token. Like I said, this Ichor Drinker, this guy is actually pretty solid, honestly. He's actually not that bad of a card. Honestly. We start turning it around here. I think maybe we win this one, if I remember correctly. Go ahead and swing. They go ahead and make the assembly worker. They can't block it because it's got flying. Can't block it because he got flying. Takes him a little bit to register that. Has flying, can't block it. Okay, thanks. Sorry, can't block it. Can't block it, has flying. They They make another one of the dudes that's a 2/2. They go ahead and lightning strike us. Phoenix comes back. Phoenix Chick comes back. We would be in pretty bad spot here. A pretty bad spot if we didn't have First Strike. And Lifelink. That Boombringer Valkyrie, I'm probably going to try her in Historic too. Because Angels is my favorite creature type to actually play as a tribe. It's actually Angels. So. And that Boombringer Valkyrie is actually not that bad of a card, to be quite fair. I think she's actually quite solid. Go ahead and jam. We hold our Angel back to secure her as a blocker. Because we'd rather have her as a blocker. Just in case Mono Red has any, like, removal slash pump effects. They go ahead and animate their workshop. Here. Go ahead and block. Start getting rid of those monk dudes because then we don't get stuff exiled anymore. They get rid of our guy. Go ahead and gain a little bit of life here. Go ahead and animate our land. Go ahead and crack open our incubation token. We actually have lethal here. But I think I forget it. Because if we would have swung, we had lethal. Or no, we would have been off by 1, never mind. They play with fire. Deal 2 to us, scry 1. Brings back their Phoenix, because their Phoenix can crawl out of the graveyard as long as you deal non-combat damage. I think they throw here. Because of their land or something. Like they like throw here, yeah, because if they would have animated their land, they would have been fine. Because their land was a 2/2. Yeah, they throw here because of their land, so good game.
Alright, this is the last game of the video. We're up against Romeo 24X. They play Lifeland. It's the Orzhova Lifeland. So, they're pretty good lands, the Lifelands. It's just, you see them in every list. It's mainly the problem with those types of lands and a lot of the other common lands is they all come into play tapped, and you can have maybe one tapped land. It's not that super big of a deal, but if you chalk your deck full of them, you will definitely notice yourself losing the game because you're playing way too many tapped lands. We go ahead and take their ossification here. That can trap something underneath a basic land. It's a creature or planeswalker, it gets captured. Captures it underneath a basic land. Whenever like a card exiles something and then it keeps it until it leaves the battlefield, we're just gonna start calling that capture. Cool, cool. Go ahead and swing, gain 1, they lose 1. Say go. So, play Tenacious Underdog here for its blitz cost. Means that when he goes to the graveyard, they're gonna draw a card because he's gonna swing and deal 3 damage. He's a rare. Tenacious Underdog is really good. Out of any of the blades that can come from the graveyard, which is like 3 X creatures for 2, that's a blade. He's probably like the best one we got, honestly, in the entire game. In the entirety of Arena, he probably really is honestly the best one. Because he's actually really good. Because you can cast him from your graveyard for its blitz cost. Then he's like churning through your deck and promoting damage. We're holding up our removal here. Go ahead and take damage. Say go. Boombringer Valkyrie comes down. Gives them her keywords. Just flying first strike, lifelink. She's a lot like Lyra Dawnbringer. So I do want to try her in Historic. I have her as like a Nat 3 of. I don't think I'd ever craft her as a 4 of because she is a 5-drop. But she's definitely, like, I don't know, maybe not so much good in a deck that you're already having like a lot of lifelink and stuff. You probably want her in a deck that you don't have that much lifelink already. Yeah, they got Wedding Announcement, Archina the Dross. Take Wedding Announcement. That might draw them enough to maybe consider not. Because we got to play around that board wipe. They got a board wipe in hand, so we're kind of like trying to stall out the board wipe. We can flash here. We're going to ambush block and capture their Tenacious Underdog. That's what's good about this Werefox Bodyguard, or we capture their other guy, their Ambitious Farmhand. Because Tenacious Underdog can just crawl back from the graveyard anyways. Because right here, we're trying to force them to play the board wipe. What we're trying to do. They play drag to the bottom, which is another board wipe. They get another land because of Ambitious Farmhand. I should probably play that in this list because that does eventually end up with lifelink too. And it grabs us lands too. She becomes like a 3/3 with lifelink. Go ahead and play our Resplendent Angel here. This is why we're playing a lot of our indestructible effects. They play Ossification. Again, captures her underneath the basic land until we get rid of Ossification. Ossification's really good. It's only 2 mana. It's just you're stuck using basic lands. That's the only like downside to it, but I mean half the time you want to be playing basics anyways. Playing stuff on curve is way more powerful than half these like special lands that don't do anything anyways. They're not even that good. Half the time you just play them because they're multiple colors. Like honestly. Or you got like the MDFCs from Zendikar with all their really lackluster cards stapled to them. Go ahead and blitz out their guy. Tenacious Underdog. Then they play Archfiend the Dross. He's a 6/6, but he can cause you to lose the game if you don't like finish, if you don't close fast enough. But he is really good. Archfiend of the Dross is insanely good. Says you can lose the game if like he removes counters from himself and he sees no more of them. He will cause you to lose the game. Valorous Stance gets rid of their Archfiend of the Dross with Toughness 4 or greater. Go ahead and get the token out. Steel Seraph, give it lifelink. Send it their direction. Bap them. The game 3, say go. Wandering Emperor. They exile our guy. Archfiend of the Dross again. They swing. We animate our artifact. We hatch it. Valorous Stance, hit the Archfiend of the Dross. Pass the turn, say go. Wedding Announcement. Create a 2/2. They lose their Wandering Emperor. Tenacious Underdog. We can finally Moment of Valor. But we opt to block him instead. Because getting rid of him will just like... We actually opt to get rid of the token here. Because Tenacious Underdog's getting rid of himself anyways with his Blitz. That's why, like I said, a Tenacious Underdog is really good. It's probably like the best rare, honestly, from New Capenna, Streets of New Capenna. Is actually Tenacious Underdog. That card's really good. Play Steel Seraph here, except we play it for its full mana cost, so it's a 5/4. We were thinking about swinging in, but we don't. That's why we just click on our Steel Seraph. Vanquish the Horde. Pops the whole board. We just quit. Say screw it. Good game. Well played. All right, and then this is the plug. So click the buttons. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful day. Stay safe. Be easy. Much love. Bye-bye.